Navigating your way through the ascension process is never easy, and in most cases is tremendously confusing and concerning. Vibe Nation radio hosts Carrie Turcotte and Dean Thomas lift the veils of illusions and speak plain and simple truth about what is really going on. Each week, they will guide you through the latest energy shifts and discuss essential tools to help you on your journey. They will be joined regularly by fellow soul family members who will have a skill or topic to discuss that is important to share. At the end of each show, they tap into the energies of the listeners and see what Spirit has to share with you for the week ahead. If you really want to get to know who you truly are, come and join us now on Vibe Nation Radio, here on the IOM Radio Network.
Well, here we are again, people. Another week of Monday Madness with Vibe Nation Radio.
Hello, hello, hello. And I'm so honored to have our first guest on Vibe Nation Radio, our dear soul sister, Marla. Hello, Marla.
Hi, Carrie. Hi, Dean. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Hello.
So who's leading the show then, Carrie?
Hello? Sorry. Are you there? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Marla.
Okay.
So, how's everyone feeling with this energy? We've been going through a lot over the last week since the last time we spoke. And today we want to get into a conversation, Dean, Marla, and myself, about what we're experiencing and what's truly going on in the energies. And with Marla's wisdom and knowledge about astrology, she can also help guide us through what we're experiencing as well. So it's going to be a really cool show. And before we start, Spirit has asked me to ask everyone to just close your eyes for a moment and just take a few deep breaths and just come into the now, to the present, and just join us today and know that what we're going to discuss is going to help us all navigate what is truly going on right now. So, how you guys feeling? You ready?
I'm ready when you are. We're always ready, you know. So, the energies, what have they been doing? They've been playing. Arthur and Martha's been coming out to play. You've been in your sandpit and you've been throwing your toys out of the pram. I'm pretty well sure of that because I know that I have.
Yes.
But it's interesting. Yesterday we had this wonderful spring equinox or autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere, and there was plenty of love in the air in my part of the world. I'm not sure about the other side of the Atlantic, but here it was a pretty cool day. We had a beautiful spring day. But I felt a lot of positive changes and made a few decisions myself about what I'm going to be doing over the next 2 or 3 months. But I did have this presence of love. But the energy was fluctuating. It was going up and down throughout the day. But predominantly, I managed to keep it in a position of love. What about you, Carrie? Because I know you were out traveling or something.
Yeah, I have been traveling. And yesterday, my soul was just really exhausted. But I did feel the love, but again, I was up and down, and I've been feeling this for probably since Friday, really intensely. And I feel that I'm also starting to get pulled in because that eclipse energy is starting to come up as well. So when you kind of put all this together, it's just kind of like you're all over the place. And Marla, how do you feel this, and how does this work with what's going on out there in the cosmos?
Oh, yeah, I've been feeling it a lot, too. It's kind of like being on an airplane, I think, and you're going along smooth, and then you hit some turbulence and get dropped a little bit and try to pull yourself back up.
I've been spending a lot of time in nature lately also.
Yeah, that's very helpful.
Especially around water.
Well, we're in the Pisces. We've got all this water energy, and we did, and now we went into more. It's an earth energy, correct, Marla?
Fire.
There we go. And what does water and fire make? Steam.
So we're having a cosmos thermal, a cosmos sauna.
Yeah, the sun went into Aries yesterday. That's what the spring equinox is, when the sun moves into Aries. So we went from the watery sign of Pisces, and we started a new cycle, new solar cycle, new year.
Oh, so Happy New Year then, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Yep, Happy New Year.
Cool. So what I sort of gauged from whether it's predestined or pre-planned, I'm looking to manifest over the next few days, particularly towards the full moon and the eclipse that we're going to experience. But I think, most importantly, what the equinox allows us to do is to start planting these seeds of new, looking at things from a different perspective, and really letting go. I think Carrie and I have been saying this for weeks, is letting go of all that no longer serves us.
Yes.
And I know a lot of you or us have had difficulties in trying to figure out what to put in the cross and what to put on the tick. But it's really flowing. We have to allow ourselves to flow through these energies, meander, to float. Because when we start to apply logic or we start to think too much, this is when our ego kicks in and says, well, it's going to be like this if you do this. It's going to be like that if you do that. And that's when we start to have dilemmas within our own consciousness. And what I tend to do when I'm battling these types of energies is to spend a lot of time in nature, a lot of walking, particularly by the river, and really just reflecting on myself, going within to look for solace. Really, I think that's really one of the best practices that I can suggest for navigating these energies, because I know from the people that I've spoken to the last 48 hours that they're having some real battles out there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And Marla, what did the cosmos say about this, my dear?
Well, it is the perfect time to really be manifesting. The sun moving into a new cycle. We have also Venus conjunct Neptune, which is a lot of love energy. The problem is we also have Jupiter opposing it and Saturn squaring Neptune Venus. So I think that's where a lot of the struggle that people are feeling is coming from, because we really want to find this place of love within ourselves. Yet in order to get there, we have to figure out what our limitations are. That's Saturn squaring it. So what's coming up is all this stuff from our past relationship, past lives, past programming. What kind of beliefs do you have about yourself as far as feeling the love? You have to love yourself, but we have to let go of everything that's stopping us. So I think that's really pushing and pulling people a lot these days.
Hello? We lost Dean, but that's okay, because I've got you, Marla. That's the energy between us going on, right now?
Uh-huh.
We just got him back. Welcome back, Dean. So, with these energies that are taking place, that these karmic energies, and again, we were talking about these in the last couple of shows, Dean and I, that we're at a stage now that we need to look into the dark side of our soul. As actually, we were saying that in the Vibe Report, the dark night of the soul, and to be able to let go of that karmic energy that's been holding us back, not only from this lifetime, but many, many past lives. And for those that are in divine union, the karmic energy or the lineage energy is pretty intense. So this, I feel, is also contributing to a lot of what a lot of people are feeling out there right now, is releasing this karmic energy and knowing that this is about putting the final chapter in the old book of life, because we have been given a new slate with this equinox and this energy, that you've got a new book. What's your first chapter in this new book? What is it? And it's difficult to navigate through this, because we have to let go of the karmic to get the new that is right there for us.
Absolutely.
Right.
There's a lot going on in the cosmos around releasing the karma right now.
Yes.
It's a major theme. Especially the eclipses are all about releasing your karma.
Yes.
The eclipses occur when we have a full moon or a new moon connected to the nodes of the moon, the south node and the north node. The south node representing our past lives,
Yes.
where we're coming from, and the north node representing where we're going, where our soul wants to move forward.
Beautiful.
So it's asking us to release those old things. And most people don't even know the depth of what they carry inside themselves.
Mm-hmm.
from past lives.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people right now are karmically in a situation in their life that is a repeated pattern, and it's showing up and it's slammed into their life because the universe is saying, okay, you need to break this. You need to break it now. So that's why there's a lot of people that I feel are really feeling the intensity of this, because they've, the triggers are there, the repeated patterns are taking place, or the full circle is there, and they're like, you need to release this. And I feels the fear as well that people, because it's the fear of the new and not knowing, right?
Isn't that what everyone's afraid of? They're afraid of the unknown, which is why we plan and we try to create what we believe is our soul journey or our path. And it really is true that our destiny is written in the stars. We can't, this is probably the only reality that we can believe, that the cosmos is determining where we're going and how we're doing it. And I know that past lives are coming through even in my children's dreams now. They're understanding and interpreting their dreams. That, my daughter woke up this morning and said she had a nightmare about a clown, and she realized that she was having to release fears. And, these cycles of repetitive patterns are coming back. And, we're going through that in our own home here. And I know in people that I'm connected with that they are revisiting things that they've done before with the same people.
Yes.
And they're also repeating, and it could be somebody from 5 or 10 years ago, myself included, that we're revisiting things with people that that came into our lives a few years ago. And there's still a lesson to be learned, either by us or by them, or we're there to help them, or they've really woken up, or the universe as finally they've got it through to their brain that they have to do something. And that's what I think is happening right now with all of these energies. People are realizing that the veils of illusion are lifting. And there is a brighter future out there.
Absolutely. And when we come back, we'll talk to Marla a little bit deeper about this and some beautiful stuff that she really has magic about the cosmos. See you soon.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IoMFM.
Hi, this is Julie Geigel.
I'm Maggie Chula.
And I'm Catherine Glass.
And we're the Psychic Angel Channelers. Join us every week here on OMTimes Radio for Angel Talk Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
The angels have heard your call and are here to help.
Are you ready to receive?
Remember your magnificence with Angel Talk Tuesday.
Host your show on IoMFM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IoMFM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Have you ever wondered what is blocking your greatest prosperity in any aspect of your life? Do you know that in this moment, you're actually creating your own reality? At New One Universe, we know how to access those programs, and we offer a radical way to clear and release the negative blocks and reset your soul blueprint. Come join us at newoneuniverse.org, Facebook/New One Universe.
What if living didn't have to be so serious?
What if you could move beyond your problems with greater confidence and ease than you've ever imagined?
Throw your labels out the window and join the Irreverent Therapist for practical tips and a very different way of approaching the changes you would like to create.
Marilyn Bradford
and Pam Hodling
have empowered hundreds of people to come out of self-judgment, quit looking to experts, and begin to create the lives they desire.
Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Irreverent Therapist Show.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IoMFM.
Welcome back to 5 Nation Radio, and today our special guest is Marla Kelly, who is an intuitive astrologer and a channel. And Marla brings some beautiful aspects to astrology when she actually looks deeper into your charts. And one of the beautiful things she likes to talk about is the Sabians. Is that correct, Marla?
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Yes.
So I think that, the information that you have for the listeners about this will really allow them to truly go a little bit deeper into what we're working with right now.
Yeah, it really does. They're really interesting. The Sabian symbols are little messages that were channeled by a psychic named Elsie Wheeler. And they give each degree of the zodiac. She channeled 360 in all, so one for each degree. And they give us a little bit more information about that particular degree. So, for example, if we look at where the sun is for the equinox, the first degree of the zodiac is a woman's risen out of the ocean. A seal is embracing her.
Nice.
So talking about manifestation, Dean, that's what this symbol is all about. And it's a continuation of the wheel in astrology. So out of the ocean, which is Pisces energy, the abyss, the collective consciousness, source energy, which is Pisces. From out of that sea, a woman is rising. And Aries is all about the physical body being made solid in reality. So her consciousness is stepping forward out of the sea. It's all about manifesting and standing in your power. And so what is the equinox about but that new beginning? And being able to really create from fresh. We have a whole new cycle.
Mm-hmm. The first chapter in the new book.
Right. But now going with what we were talking about before, the big T square that's going on, Neptune, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn. If we look at those Sabians, we kind of see in more detail what I was talking about. So Neptune is on men traveling a narrow path seeking illumination. So spiritual awakening, trying to connect more with source energy. Saturn is on an Easter sunrise service, draws a large crowd. So we have people coming together to celebrate Easter. Of course, Easter is about the resurrection. But if you're not Christian, you can see it as simply spring energy and rebirth. And then Jupiter Sabian is a volcanic eruption bringing dust clouds, flowing lava, and earth rumblings. So we're talking about pressure cookers and thoughts and emotions and anger coming to the surface, big releases. So you have this energy of, wanting to be enlightened, yet we need to go through this rebirth. And in order to have this rebirth, we need to really let go. Just let it all come out.
Cool. Here we go again. It's wonderful, the cosmos, isn't it? What it's got. And the good thing about it is we're all warriors. We've done this before, and we're going to continue to do it until we go up into the higher realms. But, this is from the people that I've been talking to recently, this is exactly what's happening. So, the planets do have some rhyme and reason behind what they're trying to tell us.
Absolutely. And those that don't truly know Marla at a level like Dean and I, she's a dear soul sister. When she works with you, she gets deep into the astrology and she looks into these Sabian symbols and looks into comets and stuff because, on the outer there's astrology, but when you start to dive in and go into past lives and stuff, it's pretty cool. And Dean can testify for that. So yes. I just want the listeners that are listening in to know that, Marla is a beautiful, she brings in her knowledge and wisdom and channels as well. So, it's wonderful to have her here on the show today. So what other magic do you have, Marla? in that little toolbox of yours?
Well, let me just go another step deeper into this T-square, I think. I explained it well the other day, I think. Neptune is our dream, right? It's what we want to create. And it's in Pisces. So in Pisces, we don't have any boundaries. We can really be anything we want to be. And it's opposite Jupiter. And Jupiter is expansion. It's abundance. It's also faith. So we got to have faith too. But it's in Virgo. So with Virgo, we need to work hard in order to get that abundance. And then we have Saturn there. Saturn is restrictions, and it's our fears. So it's wanting to create this dream, but Saturn is there kind of putting the brakes on, just making sure that you're going to do it right and that you're going to take the proper steps to ensure that it manifests correctly. And Saturn's also about karma. So he wants to make sure that you're releasing everything and that in doing so, this puts you on your path, towards what your soul's mission is.
Yes.
And so you have to face your fears. In order to get that dream, in order to manifest it, you have to face your fears and go through it. And it's not fun sometimes.
I'll test that. I'm a Pisces, so I know that even more.
Well, that explains everything quite clearly, doesn't it? Really, we're being drawn to dealing with repetitive behaviors in our life right now, and those that we brought with us in this incarnation. It's all being brought to the surface. We're sitting down and we're wondering and beginning to manifest our future dreams and ambitions, but we are being reminded that there's baggage that we need to clear, and it is that balance that I suppose that inner struggle with ourselves of getting to our true authentic self. And I know from the last week what has happened in my life, and this goes into abundance and expanding abundance, requiring the work, because it does. When we get used to abundance, we think things come easily, but we still have to continue to work at it.
Absolutely. And one of the problems with Jupiter in your chart is you can have things come to you so easily that you don't put any effort towards anything and you get kind of lazy.
Yeah. But it's really cool because, through my teaching, I'm teaching right now about dealing with yourself, confronting yourself, and believing in yourself. It is all about self-belief, that everything that you have for your current life is already within you. It's just a matter of remembering. And as people are going through this repetitive behaviors from this lifetime and past life karma, it's all coming to the surface, whether it's coming through in dreams or suppressed emotions that are coming out. I mean, I know grown men of 55, 65-year-old breaking down in tears in a boardroom meeting, and they have no explanation for it. But this is a situation that they have to deal with there and then, and they realize that it is all coming from their work that they've done in this lifetime that they haven't dealt with, and predominantly it's coming from childhood.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What, Marla, with I was just going to say something and I lost my concentration.
Well, we've got the eclipse. We've got the eclipse coming up, which is again this releasing, isn't it, Marla?
Yes, absolutely. It's a full moon eclipse, and full moons are all about releasing. This eclipse cycle has been a little unusual in that normally new moons are new beginnings, and full moons are the culmination. But because the solar eclipse in Pisces was on the south node, it was asking us to release something. Remember, I said the south node is our past life karma. So it was asking us to release it so that we can move forward. And it's actually going to be the full moon where things finally drop for us if we're willing to let it go, because, we do have free will. And then we get that fresh energy coming in.
Looking forward to that fresh.
smelling the roses.
Tiptoe through the tulips, I think, is that time of year, isn't it? Tiptoe through the tulips. Yep.
The eclipses in Libra, we've had the nodes were going through Libra before they entered Pisces, Virgo. But this is going to be the last eclipse in Libra until 2023. And Libra's about partnerships and relationships, so kind of a big deal, I think, to take advantage of it. And as far as cycles, Dean, you were mentioning taking care of stuff from earlier in this life. There was an eclipse at this same degree in Libra in 1997. So think about, what you were doing in 1997, and you're probably dealing with the same issues.
Sounds about right, actually.
Yeah, people as well. And I mean, when you're saying like relationships are really big in this eclipse season, what we're dealing with right now, this is also about karmic relationships that in the deep of your soul no longer serves you, and you have to let it go.
Yes.
Is that what they say? Karmic's a bitch or something like that? Karma's a bitch or something.
Well, we're stepping into Dharma now. So the Dharma relationships are now starting to fall in place, which is the soul family, right? So
cool.
Yeah.
There are beautiful things coming out of this. So if you do have to let go of somebody who, is in your life right now, but you realize that the lesson has been learned, do know that as you karmically let go of that person, there will be someone else that enters in to help you. So we'll get deeper into this when we get back after this commercial break.
Free your mind with OMTimes Radio, IoMFM.
Eros Evolution is where sexuality and spirituality meets. Join me, clinical sexologist Martha Tara Lee, on Eros Evolution on Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Being a radio host on IoMFM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Are you seeking an alternative way to heal your mind, body, and soul? Reiki can be the answer for many of you. Whether through touch or remote transfer of powerful universal life energies, we can activate the natural processes to help you restore the perfect balance in your life. As an Usui Reiki master, I can help you to realize your full potential with immediate result. Find me through Facebook for further details at Triple Goddess Healing.
Looking for inspiration?
Want to be inspired?
Not sure where to go?
Find Mark and Kim every Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Inspired Living.
Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience and all things spiritual.
Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
The cutting edge of conscious radio, OMTimes Radio, IoMFM.
Oh, I love this music. It's something that is going to go with me for the rest of my life, I think. But
I love you, Dean. You're so much fun.
I really would like to explore more of the full moon, because I'm not an astrologer, but one of the things that I do encourage people that I teach is on the full moon is to write these, as Carrie would call it, DeViction Notices, to write down on paper those things that you want to release to the atmosphere, that it's not about what no longer serves you, but all of those pent up feelings, those frustrations, those people that have really peed you off all month. And it's just really setting it off. Is that something that we should be encouraging people to do, Marla, on a full moon?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I do that myself. And I usually put posts on Facebook to remind people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And at new moons, you want to set your intentions.
Yes.
But I always write eviction notices on a full moon and burn them.
Burning is, yeah.
Get those buggers out, eh?
As soon as it's time for barbecues outside, so the neighbors won't worry, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go.
But one of the things that I would like to touch on, if you ladies are up for it, is how this energy is affecting those on Divine Union, twin souls, those that are in Divine Union. There's a lot of balancing going on between their connections, whether it's in the higher realms or the physical realm. It's sort of much in line with the planetary activity that's going on. But there seems to be something far more intrinsically deeper. Does this resonate?
Yes. For sure, there's a lot of balancing going on. And I think it's going to kind of come to a culmination at this eclipse in Libra. Because Libra is about partnerships. That's where the moon's going to be. But the sun is in Aries. And Aries is the self. So you have the juxtaposition of the self and the other, and trying to find a balance there, as well as the masculine and feminine energies. Aries is ruled by Mars. Libra is ruled by Venus. So we're trying to balance those energies, and not just externally if you're in divine union with your partner, but you need to balance them internally, I think, before you can fully successfully come into union. And Libra's about the scales as well, right? Finding balance, justice. There's some interesting aspects going on with asteroids at the eclipse as far as the ascension goes. It's going to be, the moon will be conjunct an asteroid called Logos, which represents Christ consciousness, and another asteroid called Solidarity, which represents working towards something as a group. So I think that's very powerful energy. You know, people in divine union are leading in some ways. Maybe that's not the right word. They're taking an active role in the ascension. And so I think that aspect is showing that all the hard work that we're doing is really raising the vibration of the planet right now, too.
Mm-hmm.
So no more vacuum cleaning.
Well, for those that are listening in, just to go a little deeper here, those that are in divine union are really working hard to break the old 3D templates of the old and creating the new templates of the 5D frequency of love. So, you know, it's a lot of twins are going through this karmic release because and the reason why a lot of people are feeling it so difficult is because you're doing it at a grander scale, that when you kind of look at it, you're doing it for all of humanity. So, and, you know, as twins, we kind of realize we kind of signed up for this. So, you know, embrace this energy and don't allow yourself to get lost into it, because, you know, sometimes you're doing okay, but you get that pull and you truly know that energy doesn't belong to you, it belongs to your other side. So to be able to help them as well, because not all of the twins are awake yet. So be patient if you fall into that, I don't like to say category, but it really is, right?
Yeah. One of the things because I've had the pleasure of experiencing one of Marla's readings with astrology. One of the things that really I feel sets you apart, Marla, is the fact that you you do look at the asteroids and you do look at the outer activities on people's timelines or birth lines, and how, in my particular case, how you were able to pick up or the asteroids that were out there at the time in my chart totally matched who I am, totally matched the path of my life that I've lived, and also confirmed past life memories that I've been having. I think that's an important aspect for some of our listeners to realize, that it's not just about the major planets, it's also about the outer stars and the asteroids as well. Yes.
Well, and Marla picked up on that on mine as well, that she was saying something. I knew exactly where she was taking me, and it's just validation that that past life that could have been horrific that you went through, it was aligned already in the stars. So to be able to remember something, again, readings with Marla trigger. This is why we work together, because, she can say something and it triggers me and it pulls me in. And it allows us to understand at a bigger scale just how important it is to go deeper into astrology, because especially if you're in Devon Union, because a regular astrologer might take a look at your charts and say, oh gosh, you guys are not compatible at all. There's nothing going on here. But if they understood the twin, that, they aren't exact, because one is one and one is the other. So you've got the strengths and weaknesses to be able to come together in union, and that's what you're intertwining, right? Is that not correct, Marla?
Yes. If you're looking at a regular synastry, yes, you have two soulmates coming together. But remember, if you're in Devon Union with the twin flame, you're one soul. So when you compare the charts, you don't look at it as two souls, because, I've seen some charts where I know other astrologers would have said, no way is this going to last. But they're looking at it from a totally different perspective. Yes. Comparing apples and oranges. Mm-hmm. And as far as the asteroids in the chart, they really do tell a story. And I look at them almost as if I was reading tarot cards or something similar. Mm-hmm. And if you have issues and maybe you don't know where they stem from, getting in touch with your past lives might be that missing link that you need. And you might not even need much information to have the memories start coming forward for you. Mm-hmm. And so if there's something that is affecting your life now from a past life, it's in your chart. You just have to find someone that can read the symbols.
And that'll be you, Marla.
Well, and those who are in Devon Union that are listening to this radio show right now, do know that Marla and I did put together a video with our handy dandy Dean. It's kind of cool. The three of us are together and we created the video together. Mm-hmm. And it's an hour and 40 minutes actually of Marla and I going deeper into astrology. And we called it March's Multidimensional Madness. And you can actually find it at my website, carrieturcott.com. And just go over to roll over the Vibe Report, and you'll see the Dropbox come down, and you'll see VR and Twinstrology. And there you can actually go on and purchase it. And it's 100 minutes, like I said. And it just helps those in Devon Union understand what we're going through and how to navigate through this. And, if it resonates with you, then I would highly recommend you meet with Marla. And we've got some cool stuff coming out very soon, too. So we'll talk about that another time. But, it really, when we did it with Dean, too, it really helped Dean. And I know a few things that Marla said with Dean that, because if I've already tapped into it, it's just like, wow, Marla, she's so on the tune, because we got pulled into a few past lives and I knew exactone what she was talking about. So I just want to toot your little horn there, my dear.
Thank you.
No, I mean, the one personally, I mean, I've had past life regression. I don't look at the stars with, your day-to-day astrologist that's going to say you're going to be rich tomorrow and all this other stuff. It's the reason I had pleasure from this experience was that it was so accurate. It's self-discovery. It's not about the union per se with my beloved. It's about me. This journey is about myself, me, myself, and I. And this is what a lot of people in Divine Union don't seem to realize. You need to understand yourself 100, not necessarily 100%. The more you know about yourself, the more open you are to this ascension process and to closer to reunion. And the more facts that you have to back that up that are not necessarily gauged from Google and those other contaminated environments, but it's, the astrology speaks for itself. If I have got Mark and Cleopatra as asteroids trining whatever it was called, this resonates because this is something that I have experienced in a past life scenario, and other situations that Marla explained to me that were in my chart and that of my beloved. It just totally makes sense why we came together, why we are here, and the path and the journey that I've been through this lifetime, the places I've been to, why I am drawn to particular places like Egypt, like Jerusalem, Ireland, France, and all of these other places where I've been to. I've never planned to go to these places. I've just gone there. And that is my soul pulling me to these areas to understand who I am. I may not have known at the time why the hell am I here? But today it all makes sense. And, one of the things that I do teach is that we need to go back into our past. We need to go and look at who we truly are so that we can be prepared for tomorrow, because all that we know from this lifetime is a crock of horse manure. It's programming. It's predetermined. What we shall be told is the truth. And people like me that have gone out into the world and said, no, screw this, I'm just going to go and live my life and follow the path that I want to, have had an insight into the realities. And one of the things I was watching, there you go. I'll stop talking now.
We'll come back and Marla can finish off with what she has to say about this upcoming week.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes.
Vibe Nation Radio is brought to you by Carrie Turcotte and Dean Thomas. Each week we bring a refreshing outlook to lifting the veils of illusion that occur in our daily lives. We will share our own learnings and personal experience that allow others to understand who they truly are.
At the end of each show, Carrie will be tapping into the listeners' energies just to give an idea of what to expect for the week ahead. So join us each Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and together we will discover the inner keys that will unlock the true you.
Host your show on IoMFM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IoMFM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Have you bought into the idea that you have to work hard for your money, that business is hard? I will share some dynamic access consciousness tools to get you out of your own way so you can create a business that actually succeeds. Join me, Simone Millicers, on The Joy of Business at 4 p.m. Mondays Eastern.
Have you been searching for a perspective beyond the mainstream? Check it out. Join your hosts Yelito Pascual and Diana Gold Holland on Share International Radio for thought-provoking views behind the news, Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio. You can also find us at shareontheairradio.org. This may be the message of hope you've been waiting for.
A conscious lifestyle for a mindful life. OMTimes Radio. IoMFM.
So here we are back.
How are you? I don't know why I can't talk to you guys. I tried to send you guys messages during the commercial.
Well, there you go.
And it's just the energy. It's just saying it's thinking. So I just wanted to tap into the message that I got why we went into commercial break, because it really ties into what Marla's saying, and then she can kind of finish it off with what she has here, that, you know, the universe is saying right now we're being given an opportunity to be able to put closure to the past and to be able to put closure to that last chapter. And they want you to kind of just think, those that are listening right now, you've been patient with what's been going on. And the universe is saying that, you know, you have to release all this yucky stuff and this stuff that's really pain and sorrow and worry and doubt. But it's a cleanse. The truth is about to come to surface with regards to what we're about to experience with regards to this full moon. And it's like Spirit is saying, you know, they feel us at the end of where we want to be, but in some way we're still feeling that the love is not there. So they're just saying, do a little bit more meditation and focus on your inner self and filling that cup of love, really, because there's smooth sailing ahead coming. And they just want us to know that there's a lot of us listening in right now that are still watching our backs. And they want us to say that don't let go of that. Know that you're strong and solid and that you do not have to watch your back with where you're going, because in the frequency of love, all it just is. So there's a message for the week. So Marla, you can add your magic to that with what's going on in the cosmos.
That's a great message. Let me just touch real quick on what Dean was saying about getting in touch with who you are, because I think that's really where a good astrologer comes in, because doing an astrology reading is like looking into someone's psyche, and it's all about your patterns. And a lot of times people are too close to see their own patterns. That's where someone like me or you steps in and points something out to them, and then they're like, oh yeah, I didn't even realize I was doing that. So maybe, you know, it's hard to let go of the patterns if you're not sure what's there. And then as far as keeping the faith, yeah, Saturn and Jupiter are going to be exactly square at the eclipse. And that is all about having faith, facing our fears, and knowing that we can come through this. Saturn's stopping to go retrograde this week too. He's going to be stationed at the time of the eclipse. So as he goes retrograde, taking a real in-depth look at our beliefs, because remember, he's in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is all about our beliefs. We're going to be going deep and figuring out what beliefs are holding us back so that we can continue forward on the life path that we're being called to. And don't forget, he's stopping on that Sabian about Easter. Like, how ironic is that he's, the week of Easter, he's stationing on the degree about an Easter service. So the rebirth is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to get rid of the junk, like you were saying. Use the Aries energy, being like a baby and being born again. Think about a baby being born. They're fresh, clean energy. They haven't been tainted by any belief systems yet. That's where we're trying to get to. So how's that to wrap it up?
Perfect. I mean, I'm going to mention your website, Marla, because I think, you know, our listeners need to understand how to get hold of you. It's eclipseastro.com. Eclipseastro.com is Marla's website. You'll thoroughly enjoy any experience that you have with her, and it does pay to, you know, I'm a great ambassador of looking at past lives and looking at past, because the truth about us is in the past. It is who we are, and when we clear and purge what needs to be cleared and purged, our soul becomes pure. And only when our soul is pure can we begin to even contemplate the ascension, the continuing of ascension, and to working with humanity and lifting the vibrations. Many people are at the stage now, because of this energy, that, okay, it's very easy to give up. I've done all this work, now I'm going to give up. I'm tired, and I'm sick and tired of doing this over and over and over again. But this is we're like a washing machine. The washing machine keeps going on and on and on. We rinse, we spin, and we hang out the washing, and we hope the washing dries. But if it rains, we have to wash it again. So this is, from my perspective, how I feel the energies right now. There's a lot of love in the air, but there's also a lot of self-reflection, self-contemplation, people questioning their own purpose and destiny, and they are ready to step out into the new, but they still have this little bit of hesitation or this little bit of reservation because they really aren't convinced that this is the way forward. But we need to push them over the edge and let them know that they will get their wings, or there will be a parachute to pick them up as they're falling, and they start to glide through this. And this is what it feels like to me, is that we are yet again, as warriors, we're going at this battlefield, and we're facing our enemies again, and eventually there will be the point where the enemy will just be walking away, and we will be victorious. And that's, I believe, what the culmination of this coming weeks and months is ahead of us.
Yeah. Well, and in a bigger perspective as well, that this week we're coming into Easter, as we've spoken about. So Good Friday is obviously Friday, but think about the love that's going to be circling around this planet. And that's why next week, actually, Dean gets to sit back and enjoy this love fest on good old Easter Monday and go on an Easter egg hunt, maybe, because I will be working with a dear soul sister. We call ourselves the Soul Sisters, Christine, and we're going to be doing live readings for lucky listeners. So there is something to fill out on our Vibe Nation Radio. If you go on to our link there and go down and take a look, you can actually enter the draw, and we will be drawing the names live this Friday, and we'll be in contact, and we will contact you directly to be able to tap into that love energy. Again, there's so many people that are, again, this is karmic ties that we're dealing with, so people that have passed, people, your loved ones on the other side. So we really want to work with the flow with this to say, if you're missing a loved one and you would like a chance, and again, we know how this works. If you're meant to connect with your loved one, your name will be drawn. So it's going to be an interesting show next week, and Dean can sit back and enjoy from home.
Oh, thank you. I shall enter the draw.
And Marla, I want to thank you so much for joining us today and bringing your words of wisdom and knowledge to the table. And I just want to give you a few more moments to, whatever else the Spirit is guiding you to say, because you all are channel as well. What is the universe telling you right now to share with the listeners before we tie this up?
Well, thank you so much, Carrie and Dean, for having me on. And I just, want to share with people to keep the faith, to remember that the energies that are happening right now are happening to everybody. It's not something that you're going through alone. It's the planetary energies. It's for our greatest and highest good. And we'll get through it. And when we get through it, we're going to be so much better for it. Everything happens for a reason.
Yes. And it's already in the stars, isn't it, Marla?
It sure is.
And you know what? Listen, and I'll toot your horn one more time. I know that there was a few things that Marla said to me that allowed me to truly 100% keep that faith of what's inside. Because again, we're all human. We have an ego. And then the dark side can come out and pounce on us every once in a while. But listening to her words, and again, a lot of times she doesn't even know what she's talking about, but obviously I knew what she was talking about. And it just made me realize that, when you have the faith and know that we're here to help shift the vibrations on Gaia, especially those in Devon Union, that, we're doing this all for humanity. So take a deep breath and realize we are in this together, and the soul families are coming together to be able to do this work together. Because every time a twin connection comes into place and they go to the next, if they either reunite or reunite again or whatever level they go to, it's really shifting the vibrations of the whole family. So it's, going to Marla to get some guidance on where you're going will allow you to realize you're really not going crazy. It's in the stars. Don't worry about it. You can chillax, take a deep breath, and work on yourself, and know that the clearer the vessel, the more blissful the union will be when it actually takes place.
Yes. Absolutely agree. I mean, the things that Marla shared with me resonated. Now I'm doing some research on a famous historical character that resonates with me, And it is a drive to achieve this full knowledge of who I am, where I've been, what I've done, and to clarify my soul mission and purpose in this incarnation. I believe I know what it is, and I believe that I am firmly on that path. And I'm so looking forward to the next 50 years of my life, sharing it with many other people that can benefit from that knowledge and wisdom of looking backwards.
Yeah.
We're always afraid to look backwards, but when we're driving a car, we look in the rearview mirror to see what danger there is behind us. When we look in that mirror, turn around and face it, we are combating it. And, we're not weak for breaking down in tears and for sharing our woes and sorrows of what's happened to us in this life. But we've suppressed so much in our life that it's now time to release it and to be that volcano that Marla was referring to earlier, and letting it all go. And it doesn't matter what pain or trauma that it causes you, this is the last time.
Yeah. And Marla, before we end off here, remember you said something very unique about, when people tap into wisdom and knowledge or prophecies, that we all have the ability to actually tap into that as a consciousness, correct?
Yes.
So that was your final answer? Yes. As we end off the show. So thank you very much for all that tuned in. Thanks very much, Marla, for coming in today. I truly, truly appreciate it. And I look forward to connecting with Spirit next week when Christine Lacroix and myself, the Soul Sisters, do readings for those live and see what Spirit has to say. I think it's going to be a great show. We'll see you all then. Have a beautiful week, my friends, and happy eclipse season.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.